Hey everyone, and welcome back to Bets Today. I'm thrilled to have you here. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that many of you have asked about: how I analyze a sports betting tip. It's not just about getting a tip, it's about understanding if it's a good one. Before we jump in, if you're serious about making smarter betting decisions, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on our analysis. So, you've got a tip. Maybe from a friend, a website, or a so-called expert. What's the first step? For me, it's immediate skepticism. I don't mean being negative, I mean being critical. The first thing I do is check the source. Who is giving this tip? What's their track record? Are they transparent about their wins and, more importantly, their losses? A reliable source will have a history you can verify. If they only ever show winning slips and never talk about their losing streaks, that's a huge red flag for me. Honesty is key in this game. Next, I completely ignore the tip itself and do my own homework from scratch. This is the most crucial part of the process. I pretend I've never seen the tip and start my analysis as if I were looking for a bet myself. This prevents confirmation bias, which is the tendency to look for information that confirms what you already believe. If a tip says Team A will win, you might subconsciously only look for stats that support Team A. By starting fresh, I ensure my analysis is unbiased. So, what does this homework involve? It's a multi-layered process. First up, statistical analysis. I dive into the numbers. This isn't just about looking at the league table or who won the last match. I look at recent form over the last 5 to 10 games for both teams, not just wins and losses, but performance metrics. For example, in football, I'll look at expected goals, XG, shots on target, defensive actions, possession stats, and how they perform at home versus away. Every sport has its own key metrics, so it's vital to know what matters for the sport you're betting on. Then, I move on to head-to-head history. How have these two teams or players fared against each other in the past? Sometimes one team just has another's number, regardless of their current form. This is what we call a bogey team. Style of play is a big factor here. Does one team's fast-paced attack exploit the other's slow defense? Or does a team's patient, possession-based game get nullified by a high-press opponent? These historical matchups can reveal patterns that current stats might miss, but numbers don't tell the whole story. The next layer is qualitative analysis. This is where you go beyond the stats sheet. I'm talking about team news and player morale. Are there any key injuries or suspensions? A star player being out can completely change the dynamic of a game. I'll read pre-match press conferences, check reliable sports journalism sites, and even look at player social media to get a feel for the atmosphere in the camp. Is the team confident? Is there internal friction? This qualitative information provides context to the numbers. A team with great stats might be on the verge of a collapse due to off-field issues. After I've analyzed the stats, the history, and the team news, I look at the market itself. This is where we analyze the odds. The odds aren't just a payout multiplier, they represent the bookmakers and the market's collective opinion on the probability of an outcome. I ask myself, do the odds offered represent good value? Value is a term you'll hear a lot, and it's fundamental. A value bet is one where you believe the probability of an outcome is higher than what the odds suggest. For example, if the odds imply a team has a 50% chance of winning, but my detailed analysis suggests they have a 60% chance, that's a value bet. It doesn't guarantee a win, of course, but over the long term, consistently finding and betting on value is how you can become profitable. I compare odds across different bookmakers to make sure I'm getting the best price, as even small differences add up over time. I also watch for significant line movements. If odds for a team suddenly shorten, it might mean a lot of money is coming in on them, perhaps due to some insider news I might have missed. Now, and only now, after I've done all this work, the statistical deep dive, the historical review, the qualitative check, and the market analysis, do I go back and look at the original tip? does my conclusion match the tip? If it does, great. It gives me an extra layer of confidence that my reasoning is sound. I've independently arrived at the same conclusion, which strengthens the case for the bet. But what if my analysis completely contradicts the tip? This is where discipline is paramount. I trust my own research over the tip every single time. Why? Because I know the depth of my own analysis. I know every stat I looked at, every article I read, every angle I considered. I have no idea what level of research, if any, went into the tip I received. It could have been a gut feeling, a lucky guess, or based on flawed information. Relying on my own comprehensive work protects my bankroll from poorly researched advice. Let's walk through a quick hypothetical. Say, I get a tip for a tennis match. Player A to beat Player B. First, I check the source. Let's say it's a reputable analyst. Good start. Next, I ignore the tip and do my own research. I look at their recent form, their record on the current surface, clay, grass, or hard court, and their head-to-head record. I find that Player A is ranked higher but has lost their last 3 matches on this surface. Player B, while ranked lower, is a surface specialist and just won a tournament on it. Then I check the news. I discover Player A had a minor injury scare in their last practice session. The odds show Player A as a slight favorite, but they've been drifting, meaning the odds are getting longer. My analysis concludes that Player B, the underdog, actually has a much better chance than the odds suggest. In this case, my research contradicts the tip. I would not place the bet on Player A. In fact, I might even see this as an opportunity to bet on Player B because I've identified value. This is the process in action. It's about being a detective, not just a follower. To sum it all up, my method for analyzing a sports betting tip is a systematic, 4-step process. 1. Scrutinize the source. Is it credible and transparent? 2. Conduct your own independent and thorough research covering stats, history, and team news. 3. Analyze the odds to find value. Do the odds reflect the true probability based on your research? 4. Compare your findings with the original tip. Trust your own work above all else. This disciplined approach is what separates casual betting from strategic investing. It takes time and effort, but it's what protects you from bad advice and helps you make consistently smarter decisions. Remember, the goal is not to win every single bet. That's impossible. The goal is to make well-reasoned decisions based on solid analysis, which will lead to better results over the long haul. Thank you so much for tuning in to Bets today. I hope this breakdown of my analysis process was helpful for you. If you got value from this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button to join our community of smart bettors. Drop a comment below and let me know how you analyze your tips. I read every single one. Until next time, bet smart and stay disciplined.